All right, guys, it's Tim O'Connor. I'm running for New York State Senate, guys. I'm a libertarian. I am seeking to serve my community. I'm seeking to make New York State a better place. I'm looking to lower taxes. I'm looking to, again, we got to get into back to where our politicians are serving us and not serving Andrew Cuomo and the higher ups and virtue signaling. And as you guys know, success is not final. Failure is not fatal. It's the courage to continue that counts. And joining me tonight, guys, he's a conservative. He's a Republican. He's got the same ideas almost as I do. And so, Bryan, do you mind introducing yourself? Like, tell people who you are, what you do, and what you're working on.
Well, my name is Bryan LoRusso. I'm a Department of Defense contractor. I work I work all over the nation for the military. I live in Otsego County, Cooperstown, Hartwick, and I just wanted to spend some time joining Tim tonight and going over some stuff, popping some politics.
Popping off about politics, brother. And in New York State, we've got to pop off about politics. What we see happening around us, man. You and I share so much, but so you travel all over the country doing what?
Security, mostly for the military. You know, security systems. Anti-terrorism stuff. Cameras, access control, standoffs, fencing. Lighting. Just stuff that gives the military their own tools to keep them safe. In our country.
All right. So you're protecting military bases from basically we've seen incidences where military bases get attacked by people who are having mental breakdowns, or maybe they're terrorists. I don't know. We never tell the truth about that stuff. So you basically set up systems that take care of our men and women serving our country.
Yes, sir.
I love that, man. I think that's awesome. Well, you know what? And this is going to be on everybody's mind. My buddy Andrew Hamill, he's a libertarian. He's doing the hard work of being a libertarian. He wants to run for town supervisor out in Maryland. And guess what, man? You and I talked about it a little bit ahead of time. But the first big question, what's your take on the county board considering increasing the tax cap?
Is that my question?
If you want to handle it, man, you know mine. Let's talk about it. I think we should get it right out there for our folks here.
Yeah, as far as I'm concerned, I've written a letter to all the board members and told them they shouldn't be considering this at all. They should be working within their restraints. They should be working within their budgets. And if they're spending on programs that they shouldn't be, they should be cutting them. That's all there is to it. They gotta. One of the board members I talked to, Clark Oliver, and he told me a quick story about his old man who he was the cigar shop owner in Oneonta, and in 2010 things got tough, and he had to close his store.
Yeah.
And I said to him, I said, okay, I said, think about all the other shop owners in this area. I said, are they able to go to the taxpayer? Are they able to go to the taxpayer and say, hey, times are getting tough, I need to raise your prices? Or did your father have to do everything in his power to hang on until, unfortunately, he had to close? Where do you think the people are going to come up with this money to come up with extra taxes when the revenue's not there to begin with?
I agree. It's the kind of thing when our taxes are going up, and you and I have even talked about this. Our children are looking at the rest of the country. Our friends are looking at the rest of the country. People are literally pulling out of their houses and leaving because taxes are too high and there's no economic opportunity. And so like what you're saying right there, as prices go up, people leave. They don't come back. And we don't, they talk about how taxes are so high in Westchester and how that's a great thing and look at all the services they get. And it's like, Westchester's right next to the city. The average income in Westchester is 3 times what it is in Otsego County. And if we don't acknowledge those realities, we're getting nowhere. So there is some a little tiny piece, and I just want to put this out there, guys, because I'm a localization freak. I'm telling you that we have the right to make decisions that serve our communities at the county level, at the town level, at the village level. So if they want to vote to raise the 2% property tax cap that Andrew Cuomo and his crew of Democrats imposed on all of us, they can write any law they want to, because that's what Article 9 of the New York State Constitution guarantees us, period. And they need to step up and do it. And they need to dump their pet projects, because I've already made fun of those things about 100 times. Robert Force is in the house. He's saying, well, he wants you to give him a price on a security system. Ryan Bedford, he's a fellow libertarian. He is as taxation as theft. That's what he says, and that's what he believes. And he's here joining us tonight. We appreciate that. You have a little bit of land, right?
I have around 400 acres, and I'm about to close on another 50 acres. So I have around 450 acres.
And do you mind me asking what you do with that? I've been up to the secret OPSEC security. I don't want to say where it is, but it's beautiful up there.
Well, we've, the first piece of property we bought was where our house is and our office and stuff like that. We bought it. We came up from Orange County, New York, in Warwick area, and we bought this land just for our kids. A couple hundred acres. As of recent, a year ago, we bought the farm next door. That was another 200 acres. So right there was around 400 acres. The farm, a beautiful farm, a lot of history behind it, not a lot of money. So I bought it. I let the owner, she has living rights to the house. I let her live there till, her days pass. And we have been doing nothing but trying to bring the farm back. I bought it to make sure development didn't happen. I bought it to make sure, we kept it green for the community. I bought it for the hunting. My kids, my whole family, my fathers, my uncles, they still hunt with me. We bought it to keep it nice, and we're fixing it up. And as a matter of fact, we just bought some farming equipment to do some haying, and I'm actually giving the hay away. I see Pat Moxley there.
Yes. Hello, Pat. I'm so glad you're here. I'm glad you made it. I know I appreciate you, and Brian, I am sure, right? Pat is a go-getter.
I'll tell you what, Pat's one of the old guard that comes to spend time here, and she is an amazing woman, an amazing fighter. I think our group, the old guard, is just going to continue to grow. But back to the whole farm thing. So the farm, that's doing well. I'm giving hay away. They're making it. We're giving it to people that need it, farmers that need it. There's another 50 acres or 40 acres down along County 205 there, right across from Marabato. And actually, I've been talking with a few of the artisans in the area, and I think I'm going to slice out, once I close, around 5 acres, and we're going to start a Hartwick farmers market.
Oh, I love that idea. I see some make pretend solutions from my Democrat opponent who wants to figure out a way to get local meat into local stores, but it's simpler than that. I like his idea, but it's simpler than that. We can buy product from our neighbors. We can grow food. It's a real thing. This isn't make pretend. You can see the signs on the side of the road. People got eggs for sale. People got produce for sale. People got meat for sale, and they're doing it more and more. And that's because we're reaching out to them. And so, hang on, I gotta give a shout out. Where'd it go? First of all, this coming Saturday, I'm doing an event in the afternoon, 2 to 5, down at my shop on State Highway 7, 6478. My buddy Ryan would like you to attend, but I got a treat. One of the guys that's a libertarian that moved to this area did something like you did, bought a farm, fixing it up. He's raising beef. He's going to bring down I don't know, I had a table full of beef, man, and it's all locally grown. So if you want to come down and have a snack, play some cornhole, we're gonna do cornhole, dancing, karaoke. I'm gonna jump up on my Ford my Ford 550, my old 74 backhoe. I'm gonna give about an 8-minute speech, probably last 2 minutes because you know me, I don't like to talk that much.
Right.
And it's gonna be a good time. I'd love to have you guys, any of the old guard, anybody that wants to join us for this event. We're protesting Cuomo. I know maybe you want to give a shout out to some of the things you're doing. What do you say? You got some projects you're working on up at the OPSEC, operational security.
We have an old guard meeting Saturday morning. I'm in the middle being a government contractor. The president, he's been putting out a lot of work on the streets to keep contractors like myself, my men employed. There's a lot of federal work going on. I am going to be in this office, in this room, probably for the next, at least until September 30th.
Okay.
Right now, hold on, I got a screenshot I got to get rid of. Get out of here.
Everybody trying to get at you right now. We have a lot of people in the audience, and they're lighting up the comments. I hope everybody's kind of very supportive. I think they like what we're trying to do here. So carry on with your old guard story, because I love what you're doing there. Okay, I love it.
Well, so I saw someone mention or a question come up in regards to taxes in Hartwick. I would bet I am probably top 5, maybe even the top 3 in taxpayers in Hartwick. I think, if I'm not mistaken, I'm probably up to $25,000 a year in property taxes.
Holy cow!
It's big numbers. It's big numbers for the area. From Orange County, I was $32,000 a year, so I send a letter thanking them.
So Andrew, our friend is asking, are you going to run for something? And don't you have some people that you want to give shout outs to for the work they're doing and who you'd like to see elected in some of these local races coming up?
Well, as far as, yes, to answer Andrew, Tim Shore, and there are a bunch of us in our group that are planning on trying to bring a little tradition back to our party. We have a great group of people. Some of them are part of the old committee members that really know what the party is about and was about, and it's been lost over the last decade. I am a conservative, but I have to say, I'm more relating with libertarians over the last 6-8 months than my own right wing of my party. I don't know who they are anymore. I don't know where they've gone. I don't know what they did. But I got to tell you, they've made some real mistakes. So yeah, you will see me running for some town positions. I am definitely looking to get on the Republican committee for Otsego County. I know I have a lot of support and a lot of help from our meetings.
Yes.
And our group, the Old Guard. They're a wonderful group of people. We have people coming from all over the state to sit with our group and just take notes on what we're doing here to do it elsewhere. Because what I've realized over the last 6 months, and part of that was being involved with NY19, Ola Huapa. We're getting told who to put in place. We're getting told who to vote for. We're being left with I don't know, our choices. It's like the choice of 3 of the best criminals. It's like, okay, well, who committed the least amount of crime so we can vote on that person? It's scary. It's scary. I got 8 children, and I regret not engaging. Until now. But when I tell you what I saw with Ola, it infuriated me. do we have a few minutes to talk about that? Or?
Well, first of all, that is one of the aims of the show for sure. I as you know, I met Ola. I'm a big fan of Ola. I know what happened. One of the things that I want to talk about, and I forgot to mention it, I don't want to dump something in your lap, but the fact that she tried to get on the conservative line and mysteriously enough, her paperwork got turned in one day late. And the bottom line there is, guys, is that there was a well, you guys could draw your own conclusions. I know why that was. Okay. So people are going to get mad when they hear me say that. I don't care. I know why that was. So anyways, please talk about Ola, why you like her. I think that libertarians want to share that. You saw her with Larry Sharpe. Guys, she's wonderful. She did some things that haven't been done in our community in decades, okay? So please, Bryan, talk about Ola. She's wonderful.
Well, I'm going to back up probably around 8 months ago, 7-8 months ago, when we were Tim Schroer and I were talking about the NY19 race, and Delgado being a machine, going, okay, well, who's out there and what do we got? What do we got coming up against Delgado? Long story short, we got into a chat on Facebook about Ola, Ola Hawama, and Tim was telling me about her, and up pops local kid, Bobby Walker, and he jumps on there and he starts telling me and Tim that she's a carpetbagger. By the way, I don't even know what a carpetbagger is. Didn't even know what that meant. But I knew a little bit about Ola, and I'm like, why are you saying that? She's from Poughkeepsie. No, she's not from Poughkeepsie. Then we get this Josh Bailey kid, another young Republican from the area, and he's jumping all over. She's a Middle Easterner, this and that and the other.
Hey, hang on. Did he literally? I mean, I don't want to put conjecture out there. Did this kid actually call her a Middle Easterner? Is that something?
Yes, and to the point, we had women on our social media going, I'd never vote for someone that wasn't born in the United States, and the stuff we were hearing, and it was like, you know what? We launched into, well, who are we voting for? And it pops up that Kyle Vanderwater is the chosen one. Quote, unquote, the chosen one. What the hell do you mean, the chosen one? All right, well, some committee members, the chairman, a couple chairmen in the area got together, and they chose that he was going to be the one. Now, this is 6 months from the primary. And we're like, well, how can you say that? That's what voting is for. How is he the chosen one? Well, they got together and they decided that he's our guy. And we're like, okay. There was follow-up to this conversation. I got off the subject that night. Tim went his own way. And and I talked to Ola. I put a call out to her 24 hours later. She was on my phone, calling me. I was attracted for her Second Amendment stance.
Mm-hmm.
That just automatically couldn't get an answer out of Vanderwater. We were texting him, messaging him. The guy didn't exist.
Right.
So Ola calls, a little while into it. I'm a business guy for 35 years. She's a successful business owner. Entrepreneur, woman-owned business. My wife is 100% owner of my business, of her business. So my wife's a woman-owned business. Ola's a woman-owned business. She's a single mom. If District 19 needs anything, it's a champion for single parents. It's systemic around here. And honestly, I've seen my own daughter is a single mother. I've seen what my daughter goes through in regards to working a full-time job, trying to pay for babysitting. God forbid the kid needs clothes. it doesn't work. It doesn't work. So Ola's, this, single mom, she's Jesus, she's a daughter of immigrants. She's a Christian woman. I mean, she was the perfect candidate for everybody, not just Republicans, for Democrats, for Libertarians. She was the perfect person for the job. She was a contractor. She knows how to make money, how to save money. Everything was perfect. And they railroaded her. When I tell you, my party, they worked harder at getting rid of her than they did. Then they're even running Kyle. Then the stories start coming out. You've got Molinaro supposedly putting a placeholder there because he wants to run next election. I got to tell you, I don't know if that's 100% true, but I can tell you this. Everything looks that way.
Yeah.
Because we don't have a candidate. There is no one running against Delgado. To the point, from what I understand, Delgado's not even campaigning in this area. He'll do a photo op. He doesn't have his people in the area. I think he's out all over the district helping other Democrats fight their battles.
I think we see that all over the place. But one of the things that I've talked to you about several times, and Tim Shore and Robert Force and all you guys, one of the issues that we have is that we have this duopoly, this machine, these Republicans, these Democrats, and what they're doing, brother. I want to offer you an RC Cola, okay? Because that's the cola of the third party. And here's what they are, man. Do you remember in the 80s, and I know we're about the same age, the 80s or the 90s, and the Coke versus the Pepsis, and they were fighting all the time. And really what they were doing was like building up their market share and crapping on the best cola out there, brother. I'm telling you right now, I'm going to pop this open, and it tastes like freedom. Check this out. And we're about, and look, and we got to have some fun, and that. Without having some fun together, guys, this isn't going to work, okay? Because we do, conservatives and libertarians, we kind of occupy the same zone here, where we're like, the government isn't supposed to tell us what to do. It's supposed to serve us and help us. Like, okay, the roads need to be fixed between this place and that place because there's too much traffic there. That's what the government's supposed to do. Are they supposed to like buy property for some business that doesn't exist down the road and develop it? Are they supposed to buy property and build micro homes? None of that. All that is doing, guys, is making New York State more expensive to live in. So what are you going to do about this Ola thing? Are you going to be writing her in? How's that going to work?
So as far as that's concerned, I am absolutely pushing and helping get the word out that Ola needs a write-in campaign, and she may not be part of it, and she may not want to split the party, and I can understand that. But I got to tell you, at the end of the day, she is without a doubt, in my opinion, the best candidate for the job. And to the point, I got to tell you, I think you're the best candidate for the job in our district, for the Senate.
I agree with you. I am, guys, and that I'm not just saying it. I appreciate your endorsement, but here's what I'm going to offer, guys. I'm not even asking for your endorsement, but I appreciate that you think I'm great for the job. I endorse Otsego County Sanctuary 2A. I endorse 2A NYS. I even endorse superheroes in ripped jeans because what they are doing is more important. It's more like how our communities are supposed to work. We don't need guys writing us laws and telling us what to do and taking our money and creating this mess, man. And I'll fight it. And I'll fight it on the local level because the bottom line, as a New York State Senator, I'll have a platform and towns and communities, and I'm going to try to get them to listen to me anyways, right? That we can write these laws that will make our lives better. We can push back on answering the state and making Andrew Cuomo's virtue, the most important thing in Otsego County and all over Cortland County and Ulster County and Senate District 51 and Schoharie County. We can push back on that nonsense, and that's the bottom line.
Well, how I feel about it is that it's time to send a message until we replace them, and they need to be replaced. So as far as I'm concerned, my message is, my candidate for 19 is Ola. And my candidate, for your position, you're running for 51.
Yes, Senate District 51.
I'm writing your name in.
Thank you, brother.
I'm so sick and tired of the establishment telling us what to do. All right, and who we're going to vote for. You know what? It's time to send them a message. They work for us. They are our tools. That's it. And they are there to represent us. And it's not happening. They're representing themselves, and they're representing their masters, whoever they may be, whether it's big money, big pharma, big communications. In Delgado's case, as far as I'm concerned, you know what? What about the single moms? And what about the farmers? And what about these shop owners that are about to get 2% a tax hike? That's bullshit.
Yeah, I knew it. I knew we'd get there, brother. I knew it. I warned us. I said we'd get so fired up we'd make a mess, and we'd probably break the FEC laws, man. I know it, but I don't care. It's the right thing to do, man.
And ultimately, our lives, I've never seen in 50 years, I'm 50 years old, I've never seen us this close to the breaking point. I knew my kids would see it. I didn't think we'd see it, but we're here.
Yeah.
We're really here. And honestly, like I said, the write-in for Ola, I wish I could get the message out to Democrats. You know what's neat? Have you seen that Kimberly? She's running for. She is
Baltimore
the Republican female in Baltimore.
Yes, I've seen her.
She's got an uptick of Democrat votes by 10% as of this morning.
I thought her entry salvo into the race was amazing. I really do. Here's a guy that I want to answer this question because I think it's fair. Dakota Finch, he's out towards Marathon, Cortland area. He's a regenerative farmer. He's one of those guys that's growing meat and wants to serve his community. Yes, Dakota, there is a Libertarian candidate running for New York 19. Her name is Victoria Alexander, Dr. Victoria Alexander. She is a great candidate, and I'm going to offer everybody a chance to meet her. What fails here, and guys, I may make some of you a little bit mad, but what fails here is this two-party system, period. It's hurt us, it's divided us, and it crapped all over RC Cola, guys. But that's besides, there's a little joke in there. But it's crapped all over us being able to be served by our elected officials. That's the bottom line. So if Ola wants to run, I saw Ola do what Victoria is going to do. She was in my friend's barns, man. She was talking to guys like you. I can't deny that that's a politician that does the right things. And I think Victoria does the right thing. So if it was I would love it to be a two-person race where it was Victoria and Ola, and they were sending, or let's somehow even a four-person race, right? Where we're having real discussions and guys who aren't interested in campaigning, okay, and that's perhaps what the reality is. The guys that are a placeholder, we have everybody's names on the ballot. I know you're a fan of ranked choice voting, Dakota. This would be the perfect situation for ranked choice voting. But these guys like Ola, and they like her. I saw her in my friend's barns, and I don't blame them for liking her. She's pro two-way, unequivocally. And I don't know. She came on my show to share her problems. And I'll tell you what, before that, she offered to come on my show before she was having problems. She offered to come on my show, and her campaign manager wasn't really comfortable. He thought it was going to be some kind of setup. I get it. He had to protect her. Some of that stuff's none of my business. So, okay. All right, guys, that's the reality. Thank you, Chad. I appreciate that, man. And I saw you up at the old fire stuff. I saw you there, brother. I know who you are.
I think
the leader, right, at the two-way stuff, and he's doing a bunch of other things, right? You know, Garrett. Let's give Garrett a shout out.
Oh yeah. How you doing, brother?
We're talking about that girl. So I think I just went on a rant on you there, brother. I'm sorry about that. I lose my train of thought. I get fired up. Everybody picks on me, but I can't help it, man. I see what's going on in this state, and we're gonna fix it. And if you're not done talking about Ola, because she deserves what you guys are offering her, man. She does. She did these things.
Well, I gotta say, after seeing everything that went down, watching what they did with the conservative line, how they endorsed her for the conservative line, and then miraculously forgot to put her paperwork on time. There's a story behind that. She actually went to fight that, from what I understand. And the guy that was representing the Conservative Party also happened to be Molinaro's lawyer.
Imagine that.
How's that?
I tell you, it is what it is. I mean, it's incestuous kind of. It's a little bit poisonous. If you want, you know what I'm talking about, man.
It's brutal. It's brutal.
Yeah.
And honestly, these guys need to go. They need to go. We need to work on our local, our county, our state, and our federal, and we just got to work it out, and we just got to gnaw away at it. We've got Democrats on our Republican Party tickets, literally serving us as Republicans, and they're Democrats. It's like they didn't win as a Democrat, so they ran as a Republican, and now they're sitting and running our towns and running our counties. Today, honestly, like I said, Tim, I think that my conservative views live in the same house as the Libertarians, and I really think we are more alike than we actually give each other credit for. We are definitely closer in our parties than in some cases my own Republicans. I'm sick of them. I'm sick of the politics. I'm sick of them self-serving themselves, and I'm certainly going to try to turn this shit upside down on them.
We have to, and so you mentioned a name earlier, and I could throw a name out there, but I'm not going to mention a specific name. But the Republican Party challenged my petitions as a libertarian, and they managed to prove to the New York State Board of Elections. And guys, I'm telling you, I want this story out there because they proved that I didn't know who I was and I didn't know where I lived. And I was there with my driver's license to explain it to them. And that wasn't good enough, guys. That wasn't good enough. And it was part of that Republican system, that group of this is the big money Republican system. And guys, the National Republican Party, and I hate to tell you this, man, but it's given up on New York. It's given up on New York 19 because it leans left. That's why these guys have the power to get away with things like this. Now Trump, and I know you're pro-Trump, and I'm not anti-Trump. So that's Trump may bring some money back to our area to campaign for people. He's going to probably campaign for Claudia Tenney. He's probably going to campaign for is it Klobuchar up towards Albany?
No.
He'll probably spend some money here. He has a lot of money. He may actually try to do something for New York, which would be great. That's fine. But as a whole, the New York Party, the Republican Party nationally has kind of looked at New York and said, "Boy, we can't," because it's a money game, Brian. Right? Because they can't make money here.
I don't know if you noticed, this morning, drinking my coffee, watching Fox News, they were actually, they were actually promoting or at least acknowledging that it is not the establishment Republicans that are going to bring Trump back.
I know.
It is the conservative party that is going to bring this home for him. And to the point I got to tell you, I know people, are saying, "Oh, this is going to be scary." I'm looking at all this destruction and this death in these inner cities, and you got 100,000 punk ass jerk offs on the street, burning and killing people, and you got millions locked up, afraid to go to the corner store. Wait, I'm sorry, they can't go to the corner store. It's no longer there. I think Trump's going to pick up a good portion of the conservative Democrats, the more moderate Democrats, because they're afraid. They're not ready for the AOCs. Like I said, I mean, our time was now for 19, in my opinion. New York State, our time was now. And our party sold our seat. They screwed up royally, and now was the time.
Yeah, they made a monetary calculation there, and again, it's big party politics. And guys, I'm calling it out, but I'm not calling out the people like you and Garrett and Chad and Robert Forrest and the rest of your group, Pat. These human beings that are realizing that there's this whole group of people that love the state because it enhances their power. And you know what? It keeps coming back to me, and I don't want to forget, because we're going to talk about Cuomo, and that's going to probably take us to the end of this show. But you have a person in Cooperstown that you want to endorse, that you think's doing the hard work and is ready to help. Am I remembering that correctly? I want to make sure.
Yeah, well, we have, talk about the local elections. We have just, we've got a pretty progressive socialist right in Cooperstown that's being challenged by a great lady. Her name is Mary Margaret Robbins.
Okay.
And I've put it out on some of our pages, even the 2A group, that I know it's not everybody's fight. Cooperstown is Cooperstown's fight, and we don't have a say in it. But we all know that one person that lives there, and we got to try to get people out there, folks. We got to get these local towns back within control, and we got to work out from there. But we've got these socialist, progressives running our towns, making up rules that may belong in Westchester County, but they don't belong up here.
Well, they're forcing us to pay for their virtue. When we see our taxes go up and we have no businesses, they're forcing us to pay for their virtue. And that to me is a problem. I love the concept of micro homes. As a contractor, I would love to build a couple of them and have the state pay me to rent for people that are homeless. I would love to do that. But to go through the hoops to get the right to build a couple of those houses would have been next to impossible. I would have been certificates of need. I would have needed this. I would have needed that. But somehow the government can go ahead and enter into the private business area and take money basically out of my pocket, out of Warren and Shell's, other people that want to help people and serve people. We're not evil. We want to be able to pay our bills, and we want to retire and sell our property. That's all we're trying to do, guys. That's all we want. And when the government takes that stuff out of our hands, this is what we get, okay? This is why we have angry people, disappointed people, and people that are ready to do the work to change the world, right?
Yep.
Yeah, they're damaging everybody's property everywhere, Shelley. It's not okay with me as a libertarian. People have property rights. Property rights, probably the number one thing that the U.S. Constitution changed the world by offering individuals property rights. And I'm not saying that the Constitution was perfect the time it was written, but as far as it went for the rest of the world, it was pretty dang close. And it started one of the most successful social experiments in the history of the world. And so when we disrespect each other's property for whatever reason, even if it's a corporation's property and we disrespect it, that's a problem. And we need to fix that. We need to get together on that stuff. I like this Chad. He's here supporting you. I think that's awesome, man. And he said some nice things about me. I think that's great. So what I feel like the New York 19 thing is going to be very exciting for everybody. It's going to be great. We're going to be talking about politics. We're going to be learning, but there's a bigger goal down the road. And I think you and I hit on it the other day, right? our government in New York State's been failing us for decades. It starts with reelecting a guy like Cuomo over and over again. And so let's say nothing works out for us this round. I get 1,000 votes. Ola gets 1,000 votes. Victoria gets 2,000 votes or whatever. Ola gets 10,000 votes. That's not going to be enough to get Delgado out of here. But I think we're starting something that's more important than that. And if Ola hangs in there, and if I hang in there, and you hang in there, and Tim Shore, Tim, you're coming on this show because you're going to add some clarity to a few of the things that Bryan and I have been talking about. So please keep that in mind. I want you on this show, and that's going to happen. So we're starting something bigger, right? Isn't that really what it's got to be about?
So what I see happening, if we wind up, Ola doesn't get there, you don't get there. Our next elections, and even our group, when Ola said, you know what, I'm not splitting the party, our group goes, okay, what now? All right, what now is we got right down in Hartwick, I got 3 guys that we need out of there, and we need to take back our town.
All right.
What we also have in Hartwick, we have a Republicans committee. All right, we have people that are on those positions. It's time to petition and or challenge their seats, and that goes for every little town around us. So if we don't get the big prize now, we go for the little prizes. Here's a theory: you take all of Cuomo's minions, you cut him off at the legs. All he is a stump.
Yeah, I love it. I love it. I agree with that. And that goes to that whole thing we were talking about. We can localize this decision making. And and conservatives and libertarians are close enough that if conservatives and libertarians localize the decision making, we're going to be making decisions that work for our neighbors.
If we work together on local levels, you get this local town, you get this local town, you get this local town. And now you start taking the county. All right, take the county. Now you have a say at the table.
Yeah,
right? You have a say at the table. Now you got a say at the state. You have a say at the state. Now you get rid of the asshole Cuomo and some of these jerk offs that made the decision that my chosen one was Kyle Vanderwood. That's That is honestly, that is the definition of the old guard.
Yeah.
And that's what we are doing. And that's what we will continue to do. And our group is getting bigger. And, honestly, there is no party right now in our room. This is strictly for right, and right can be libertarian, right can be conservative, right can be Republican. It has to be the right person. It has to be the person for the people. That's all there is to it. That's why I started this pipe dream of an election. I started with no money. I started with no real idea how I was going to campaign, right? Because I didn't know. I just knew that I should, and I knew that I needed to, because like you said, we kind of failed our kids. We kind of failed our future. I have a 28-year-old. She's in Virginia, man. She's not coming back. And like we joke, maybe it's the weather. The bottom line is there's not enough economic opportunity here to keep our best and our brightest, and even our kids that just want to do certain jobs. They don't have even those jobs. And guys, that's like an electrician. That's like a plumber. Those jobs are fun for kids. They make a great living. Right.
Factory work, where you get in there and you work your way up to a supervisory position. There's very, very limited, and all of it's interfered with by the government and sometimes granted. Like, you got hire 5 guys and the New York State government gives you $100,000. And guess what, guys? New York State government's broke. That's why they're going to raise the property tax cap, because they're not meeting their bills already. Okay, you could check the news. They said it. They tried to hide it. They tried to sidestep it. But that's the reality. New York State's not paying its bills. It's not meeting its obligations on the promises it made to Otsego County. So now they're going to saddle us with that property tax cap.
Well, I mean, for Christ's sake, They were six billion in the hole before COVID.
I know.
Yeah. Cuomo, honestly, Cuomo was praying that he was just going to get a federal bailout and he could mush all that paperwork together and make that $6 billion go away.
I know, man. I know. And that's what he's done. And it happened before him, but it's been going on for a while. They've been moving this power to the top. So we look at them and we beg them for permission to walk out of our house, to build a deck, to freaking change windows in our house. We got to ask these guys to put a 10 by 10 addition on. We've got to ask them for permission. And then they're like, we're going to turn up the enforcement of the insulation requirements. So now all of a sudden your 10 by 10 addition goes from like a 20 grand project to a 40 grand project, and it looks like a tumor because it doesn't fit the rest of the house. It's an unfunded mandate. It happens all the time. And guys, we got to push back on this stuff. We can't afford to live like that. And that's the reality. We are chasing people out of here. That's what's happened. My goal is to slow that and hopefully stop it. Bring back the concept of economic opportunity, that respecting your neighbor, that making these things happen it's a big deal, man.
Right. Well, even these local laws, we got some Democrats that ran as Republicans down in town, and they're trying to force these property maintenance laws on people. And you leave your lawnmower out, we're going to hit you with a $60 fine. We're going to put you in jail for 60 days. It's like, where the hell are you? And we are, once again, we as a town, we went to sleep and we woke up with Democrats on the Republican ticket. And it's like, all they want is more government and more government. And it's like, what the hell are you thinking? They can't get a letter from point A to point B. The government is not the answer. It is the last thing we should need. And these taxes, property taxes, you broke your ass your whole life. You worked your whole life to get a little piece of the American dream. And God forbid you get set back on a couple grand worth of taxes like poor Robert Force, and you get some corrupt scumbag that's going to foreclose on your property real fast, not give you any chance to get it back because he's got the judges in his pocket, because the judges just voted for the senator, and the senator's sucking off the
Whoa. I wish I had a mute button. Ding, 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 ding.
But, it's like, and that's what we got running this place.
Yeah.
And we got to stop it. We've got to stop it locally, and we've got to stop it countywide, and we've got to stop it statewide, and we have to do it right here at our homes. Like I said, I got a lot of people coming in from all over going, we hear what you're doing. Can we take notes? Yeah.
All right. So let's go. This goes out to about the amount of time I spend on these things, because I can feel you and I are going to get sideways bad. Okay, we're going to, and we've done good, because I know how passionate you are, and I know how passionate I am. So we've done really good, guys. The likes, the shares, checking out the old guard, talking to Bryan, talking to me. These are paths back to a saner governance. And of course, guys, if you could throw me $5, $10, $50, $4,700. They change the limits. Whatever you guys can do to help me help guys like Bryan, and have guys like Bryan feel comfortable helping me and moving forward through this disaster of this dystopian New York state, that we're paying for people's virtue. We're losing our children to the economic opportunity in other places. They're coming after our rights, the Second Amendment rights, our First Amendment rights. They're coming after them all the time, and we've got to push back on that. And guys like Bryan and me and Ryan Bedford, guys, we're gonna do it. And Shelley and Pat Moxley, and apparently Tracy DeLello, guys. I mean, I love the spirit that we're generating here, guys. I just think maybe we can change the world, man. Help 2AS, do it, guys. And look, I don't care how you feel about the NRA, because I don't care. They're a lobbying organization. They're suing New York State to prevent New York State from prosecuting them on stuff that they may or may not have done. It's all politics. 2AS, 2ANYS, your local Otsego County Second Amendment chapters, those things. And guys, you can like the NRA. That's fine. I just want you to be aware. We can have real impact locally. And if you want to beat up on me for my distrust of the NRA, Brian, it's fine. We got to have some differences.
I've become disheartened with them. I'm a life member, and I've been very disheartened with what they've done, and they're more concerned about them than they are, once again, us. I haven't seen much from them in a long time. So. Look, I mean, where were they? Where were they with this, SAFE Act? I mean, you mentioned manufacturing. Look at the recent announcement from Remington. One of the only real manufacturing places around. They're out.
They're gone, right?
Yeah. Well, I think they're in negotiation for some foreign company to buy them. But
yeah,
I mean, they already shipped half their jobs out to Alabama. I don't know.
The issue is that they're a manufacturer. The NRA shakes them down for money, and the NRA actually big manufacturers. And I'm not knocking Remington. My gun is a Remington. My guns are Remingtons. I like them. They're quality product. But big manufacturers, really big, the bigger they get, literally use lobbying agencies to buy regulations to keep smaller gun manufacturers from being successful. That's part of it. New York State has decided to chase out Remington through high taxes, restrictions, closing them for COVID when they were going to make masks and PPE. They were going to retool their factory. I mean, guys, we got to get rid of Cuomo. That's the bottom line. We got to do it. I want to win. If I win, it's a big step in getting rid of Cuomo. If we do that, I don't know. I'm losing my mind. Like I said, we're getting sideways, man. We're two passionate guys about saving New York. Let's read this. Why should the people suffer from government put there by then to work? Because, right, everything is a huge money grab. That's what I'm talking about the two-party system. It is. It is.
Yeah, well, I've seen the conservatives and the libertarians grow closer.
Yes.
To almost the point where I wouldn't be surprised if you do see this morph into a third power structure here in regards to libertarians.
Conservatarians. I don't know. I call myself a conservatarian.
Well, I mean, listen, your numbers have grown. Conservative Republicans are actually picking up Democrat votes, moderate Democrats. It seems to be starting. So I don't know. Like I said, I'd love to see the conservatives and the libertarians work together in this election.
Yeah.
For your position, for Ola's
position.
Thank you. I got to tell you, with Kyle not campaigning and Delgado not campaigning, a good strong write-in could possibly catch them both on their heels.
I would love it, man. That would be awesome for liberty, man. And that's what I'm talking about. I'm selling liberty. I'm sharing liberty. We're growing liberty. Guys like Brian are already there. The rest of you guys, I just got to say thank you guys for being here. It means the world to us. That's why I do this. It means the world to me. Brian is doing the hard work. Brian, I'm going to probably try to swing by Saturday in the morning to say hi to people.
Yep.
And again, I'll re-invite people to the thing I'm trying to do later on in the afternoon.
Yeah.
Let's hope the weather holds out, and we'll go from there.
All right, man.
And Ola, thank you for being here tonight. We appreciate you, just like I feel like you showed a lot of us. You appreciate us, man, and I think that's great. I really do.
Yeah,
all right, guys. Brian, hang out for a minute. And guys, thank you very much. Once again, we had a great attendance, man. It's really, really, really. Oh, Pat's making fun of me. I combed my hair. I've been making fun of what's her face there. She did a little video of her getting her hair pulled out. She's got long COVID. Sorry.
Hey, all I want to say is I want to see a ton of shares out there.
Yeah, shares
everywhere.
Oh, brother, and I'm sorry, I didn't. Do you have anything else you want to talk about that maybe we missed? Did didn't cover adequately.
We'll certainly catch up. We'll certainly catch up in the near future. I'm hoping that this is just the first of many. I can't wait to see Tim on here. You know, we have strength in numbers, and we are starting to come together. I can tell you that, and you know, I've seen it, I've felt it. You know, we need faith. We need faith, and we need organization. We really need this, and we're going to do this.
We were so busy making a living that we let these guys get away with stuff, brother.
Yeah.
We did.
Yep.
All right, guys.
All right.
Thank you all, Bryan. I really appreciate it.
All right, man.